Alright, so this video is really just going to be an updated version of one of my previous ones, and it's the one where I was talking about how you should stop giving so much attention to things that really don't matter. I don't really want to swear or curse that much because, well, back then I wasn't Christian, and now I find that, it's not really in line with my views. But nonetheless, I feel that this video was one that gave out a pretty good message, and a lot of you reciprocated with that, making it one of my top viewed and most liked videos. And so I thought this would be a good way to revise that and add some new ideas I thought would help illustrate and get across the true message that I wanted to say in that video. But for some of my regular viewers, you might notice that I'm in a different environment compared to my usual recording place. That's because I moved into uni. This is my dorm. I don't know if you guys really want to see a dorm tour or something like that. I'm not sure if you guys really care, but if you do, just leave something in the comment section down below. If I even see one person, I'll probably upload like a mini long video for that. But we all have things we kind of care a little too much about, right? We give too many freaks about something where we only need a few, or we shouldn't even care about that thing as a whole. And every single day, as you spend more time and attention or giving more freaks about this one single thing, it pulls away from other more important areas of life that you might not even realize. And so the way you really have to think about this stuff is almost like a currency. You have to think about your attention, your time, and the amount of freaks you give to something, how much you care about that thing, as a currency. And just for the sake of illustration, and I thought it'd also be kind of funny to name it this, let's name this currency Freaky Coin, right? Freaky Coin is the thing that you put on whatever area of life you want to and whatever place you want to focus on. And so let's say every single day you wake up with X amount of Freaky Coin, whether it be a 10 or 5, whatever it is. You have a limited amount that refreshes each and every day, and you can change what areas your Freaky Coins go to. So let's say you go about your daily life and you put it on things like, I don't know, caring about other people's opinions, because the way you put these sort of currencies, these Freaky Coins on different areas of life is the way you act throughout the day. If you go out and act as if you care about other people's opinions, you let it stop you from doing something, or you make it so that the only reason you're doing that thing is because of other people, well, that means that you're putting a single coin or you're giving a freak about other people. But if you start acting in a way that prioritizes other areas, perhaps the gym, family, where you prioritize family over other things, that's a coin towards that. If you prioritize the gym and want to work out first thing in the morning, that's a coin on that. Or maybe you're trying to get into religion. If you start off the day and pray to God over everything else, that's a coin on that. So I'm not sure if this currency illustration or analogy helps, but I think having something quantifiable is really helpful. And you might even want to do this in your own life, right? Get out 5 coins and list out the areas of life and just think deeply here. What do you genuinely care about? Not what you want to care about, but what you think you need to care about. There's a difference between wants and needs, right? We want a lot of things in life, and I think I'm speaking for most people here. We want money. Money lets us do a lot of things, but it's not something that we necessarily need, at least a lot of it at least. But there's a lot of other things that we need in life, and I think are necessities in my life, right? A couple of the needs that I will always prioritize that I can name for myself is 1, family, 2, health, 3, purpose, 4, God. And those are really the big ones that come to the top of my head. And so every single day I will at least try to prioritize 2 to 3, or if I really can, all 4 of these things by giving my Freaky Coins to these. And so I want you to just write down what you care about on a piece of paper, right? Just list them out. You don't have to order them any specific way, but just write down 5 to 10 things. Don't have too many, because at that point you're not gonna have enough energy, time, and attention towards the things to actually give them the proper time that they need, right? Your attention and your free coins are just going to be spread too thin. But that's why you have a select few, because these things are incredibly important, and they're important for a reason. So after you've written down your couple of things, like feel free to pause as well if you need to, but after you've written down, I want you to list them from most important to least important. Number 1 being the most, and number 10 being the least important of these things, or whatever the last number is, right? And going from there, I want you to start acting each and every day like you care about these things more. Work from top to bottom. Don't try and apply every single thing at a time, but work on giving more care and attention to number 1 first. Because once you can't start focusing on everything else, because then again, your attention is going to be spread too thin. This is something new that you're trying to introduce in your life if you haven't already. But if you have, this might just be a good reminder to, give a little extra attention to that thing. But the big point of me making this video is to help you start prioritizing the things that really should be prioritized, that you want to prioritize, instead of the things that just kind of come off based on instinct and human nature. Because what you're really trying to do here is you're trying to make your instincts go to what you really need to care about instead of what you want or what your brain wants you to care about, right? And go through the list one by one, making sure that you spend at least a good amount of time and get to the point where it's somewhat automated, it's close to being a habit. And at that point, I think you start working down the list one, or go down the list by one at least. Because at that point, that thing's gonna be just naturally in your routine. It's gonna be something normal, something that you do on a daily basis. But to actually go out and try and prioritize these things and get the ball rolling, right? The hardest thing always is to just get these things started and start doing these things. The easy part is planning and continuing to do these things. But to actually get the ball rolling, you have to approach these things with an all or nothing mentality, right? Because a lot of the times you can back out halfway. And that's why a lot of people quit the things that they so-called committed themselves to. But make it so that you can't really back out. The last time when I recorded this video, I completely, shaved my head. And when I did that, if I cut one piece of my hair, it's completely over. I kind of have to do the rest of my head. It's either shave it or don't. And with a lot of other things, it's a lot more difficult to approach this, right? It's a lot more difficult to set up a situation, a scenario in your head where it is actually all or nothing. But it's definitely not impossible to do those things, right? You might have to kind of delude yourself into thinking that it's all or nothing, and it might not actually be in reality, but it's all for the sake of actually getting yourself to do something. And the most recent example I can think of this is when I first found God, And what I did a lot of the times was that I would kind of leave myself in the church without any real way to get back home after school. Because when I really got into God, that was the beginning of school. And although I could bike, sometimes I wouldn't have my bike and I would just have to wait in the church for my mom. And although there was something inside of me that wanted to go to the church anyways, but it made it so that I had somewhat of a situation where it was all or nothing, where I felt I couldn't really go back home because it took like an hour-long walk. So either wait for my mom or go to church and pray to God. And so I wanted to use my time the best I could, and I just had free time. So it kind of forced me into a situation where I had to go out and just, spend some time with God. And this might not be the best example, and it's probably a bad one, to be honest, but it's the only one that I can really think about. But I hope this video kind of helped you, and it was a little bit better than my previous one. If you want to watch my previous one, it might be a little better. I'll put it in the comment section down below. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. So I do appreciate you for sticking all the way to the end. But I hope you found something interesting or helpful. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Just stay consistent, stay disciplined, and keep on building that relationship with God. All right? Now give me a kiss.